Prior to ever implementing a maintenance plan for a field, it is important to conduct a soil test to understand the composition of your soil. Every infield or root zone mix is a combination of sand, silt, and clay. Understanding the properties and the ratio of each component will better prepare you for success in managing your field. A sand, silt, clay analysis can be performed in two ways. For either method, you'll need a sample of your infill mix. First, scrape away the top 1/2 inch of infill mix and conditioner. Then take several samples from around the infield at a depth of between 1/2 inch and 3 inches. Mix these samples in a container to get a good blend. This will become the mixture that you will evaluate. In certain areas, if your field looks or performs differently than the rest of the field, you should sample and test these areas separately. There are two options you have to conduct the analysis of your infill mix. Option 1. Submit a 1-pint baggie of your sample to your turfist distributor, a soil testing lab, or your local ag extension service. Ask them to perform a sand, silt, clay, or particle size analysis. There are costs associated with this option, but the price is usually pretty reasonable. Option 2. Get a straight-sided jar that is at least 6 inches tall. Fill the jar half full of your infill mix and add approximately 1 tablespoon of salt to help the mix settle more quickly. Fill the jar with water and shake vigorously until the soil is suspended in the water. Set aside and let it stand until the mix is fully settled. This will take anywhere from 1 hour to overnight. This jar on the right has been sitting several hours, and as you can clearly see, the particles have settled. The sand is the heaviest particle and will settle out first and gather at the bottom of the jar. The silt will be the next to settle as the middle layer, and the clay will be the last at the top. Measure each layer and divide it by the depth of the total mix in the jar, in this case 3 inches. This will give you the percentage of each component. For example, the 2 inches of sand divided by 3 inches of the total mix show that we have 67% sand in our field. We also have 1/4 inch or 8% silt and 3/4 inch or 25% clay. A typical park and recreation level field consists of about 70% sand, 10% silt, and 20% clay. You can certainly manage your field effectively at other ratios, so long as you first understand the performance characteristics of each individual component. This is outlined in more detail during our Science of Infield's video.